Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here, and welcome to the Jules the Human Anime Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and every week we go out into the world and watch a little bit of anime, and then we come back here and talk about it. And today we are talking about the end of season 1 for Bungo Stray Dogs. We watched the entire season. We're going to talk about the last 4 episodes of Bungo Stray Dogs, then we're going to rank it on our board. And then at the end, we're going to pick a brand new anime. We have a ton of anime that have been added by the community, by me or Matt, but by the end of this episode, we're going to be ranked with the Bungo Stray Dogs, and this will be the last anime that we pick for season 2. So once we're done with whatever anime we pick today, we're going to be doing another Crunchy Awards and awarding some of the anime that we've watched this season, some awards, best animated. We've done a lot of different categories and stuff, but we're going to rank the animes that we've all seen after this next one that we pick later today. I do not go on this journey alone. I go with my co-host Matt Galley. Matt, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing really good. I've been playing a heck of a lot of Marvel Rivals, man. We finally got Overwatch without Blizzard being connected, and I'm just so grateful. I'm really excited for us to pick our last anime, host another Crunchy Awards, because I mean, we've already been doing this going on like a little bit over 2 years now, and it's just crazy to think back on all the different anime, all the different stories that we've encountered, all the twists and turns and reveals
So many
along the
different,
way. All the anime were the friends that we made along the way.
And one, can you rejoin, because your voice and your video are a little off? So I think first off we got to fix that.
Rip, but I'll be back.
Yeah, it's fine. Matt will be back. But yes, like Matt was saying, that there is just so much anime we've done so far on this show. We have so many more to go. We have all of these anime here. I added Chrono Crusader. I doubt anybody's ever heard of it. I just like found it randomly scrolling Crunchyroll. I know Matt said he's never watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I've seen it. Vinland Saga is a manga that I've read. I think the first 2 books of Vinland Saga, and I really enjoyed that. So a lot of, and Frieren, all the ones that have been in here for so long already. There's so many anime that we could pick today, and that'll be our new show for the next 3 weeks. But Matt, we got to get through Bungo Stray Dogs.
Yeah,
are you ready?
We got to talk about it.
Sure. Okay, that looks better. Bungo Stray Dogs, episode 9. The beauty is quiet like a stone statue. What happens in episode 9?
Atsushi and Kunikita get
Hold
Kyoka.
on. Oh, you gotta share your screen. Sorry.
Again. Oh, because I had to reconnect.
Yeah. But Moonlight Latte
nerd
said Cyberpunk Edge Runners is hella cool though. I know, it's really good, and I'm excited if we get to pick it. But episode 9, what happens in episode 9?
Atsushi and Kunikita.
It's not coming up.
Ooh, hello.
What's happening?
We got some technical difficulties today.
I'm big.
I'm small.
Why am I big? How do we do this? I forgot how to do this. Here we go. That's good enough.
There we go.
There it is. Okay. Episode 9.
Atsushi and Kunikita get Kyoka to talk about her position in the port mafia. Her going on to reveal she took direct orders from Akutagawa. Kunikita tasks Atsushi with delivering her to the military police as her situation is out of hand, having committed so many murders. And Dazai goats at Akutagawa with insults as he's held hostage. Atsushi is unable to turn in Kyoka and decides to take her to a bunch of spots to have fun before she decides it's time to turn herself in. Akutagawa interrupting and snatching the both of them and leaving the detective agency in a rescue situation. Dazai is confronted by his old partner, and Rampo finally steps in to reveal Atsushi's location.
That boy was like, "Fine, I'll give it to you."
You'll praise me?
Done. Oh my goodness.
That's all I ever wanted.
Dazai Kenny Demigirl says, glad to see the community getting noticed. Extremely underrated. Love Dazai lore for real. Unfortunately, in this episode, Dazai's captured. But let's get into the Kyoko stuff. So Kyoko was saved, as we learned in the last couple episodes. Kunikita and Atsushi question Kyoka. They go get tofu. We find out the Port Mafia took her in. The Demon Snow only follows orders being given over the phone. That's kind of a weird. It seems like all these powers have some sort of hook, but then some of them are better. Like I still don't know what Atsushi's hook is really, and also Akutagawa's hook thing, because like later we find out in the episodes to come that Kenji is just insanely strong, but only when he's hungry. So like little things like that, like what it's is she being honest here? Because
Mhm.
that seems like a really weird thing. Like Demon Snow, you can only be followed by orders over the phone.
Mhm.
But was she
Well, I
just saying that
mean,
about the situation?
for a while, it seemed like Atsushi's thing was that, his wasn't at will. He had to wait for like a full
Sure.
moon, and
Yeah.
that was kind of like situational. And then with Dazai, we've already kind of seen it. Like people are like, you can take away my powers, but I can still, beat the shit out of you. I can
Yeah, that's
still,
true.
you're still human. You're still just blood and bones,
Guts.
and
hmm
guts.
Um, they find out that Akutagawa was the one behind it. We find Dazai still being captured. We get some information about Dazai here, that he was an exec in Port Mafia, but disappeared. And Akutagawa was Dazai's apprentice at some point. That's
You
interesting.
disappear one day and you show back up as our enemy. What happened? And then
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, actually, wait, what happened?
Was Dazai on one of his like suicide run things, and he was just like, I'm out. I'm good, man.
You know what?
It's kind
I'm
of,
all set.
yeah,
Just
you know
one
what?
day.
Porn Mafia sucks, bro. I'm out. But it sort of makes sense now that we did know that Dazai and Kutagawa had some sort of connection before. It maybe a fought in the past or something, but now we know for sure that Dazai was high up in the Port Mafia. Like he wasn't just a guy. He apparently was higher up, and that's interesting. And does anybody in the not the guild, the what are they called,
The agency?
the agency, does anybody in the agency know that this was true, that this was a thing? I
No,
don't know.
because remember the whole deal is that, nobody knows what he did
That's true.
before coming to the agency. Nobody knows what he used to do, even though
Not
everybody
even the
else,
president though.
not he,
Would he keep that from the president? What's up,
would
yo?
the president even need to know under certain circumstances?
That's true. Hello, Leoli. I just joined. What's happening? We are talking about episode 9 of
Episode
Bungo Stray
9, season
Dogs,
1.
and we're gonna rank it by the end. We're gonna rank season 1 on our list of all the anime we've seen this season. Um, Atsushi gets attacked by Kutagawa and the Port Mafia after they go on this date here, and the agency doesn't really seem to take action. So I don't know if it was just kind of odd, because these 4 episodes I watched in English.
Oh, I forgot to do that.
Didn't like it.
Oh, oh no.
It may have hindered my experience.
Oh no.
Because I was like, this ain't it. Oh, it was so much better in Japanese.
Oh no.
Or how you thought like some jokes would land better in our native language. It just felt weird. Yes, the Chuya episode. Yes, we're gonna get to that for sure. The agency doesn't want to take action, but the president tells them to get a sushi. Chuya goes to see Dazai. Dazai just has like all these people in the Port Mafia that he just
disappeared one day.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It makes sense. His connections would probably run really deep, and that's it eventually connects back to what we get revealed in the second episode. Like that's the only reason his word holds weight and he's able to get out of a sticky situation is because of his connections and his old life.
How do you like Chuya? I thought they were interesting. We're getting like now we're at the back half of the season. We get Kyoka, we get Chuya.
They're interesting additions for a back half of a season where it's like we know they're supporting characters, they're not part of the main cast, and they're coming in with a thread of the already revealed information now that's had time to bake and simmer of Dazai being an export mafia member.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, we slowly get the reveal too in this episode, that Akutagawa was actually Dazai's, apprentice. It's not even that they were like, subordinates on the same level.
No.
It's that, Dazai used to be his mentor, and then all of a sudden one day he goes missing, turns up on the enemy's side, and he's wondering about that. But then
And we
so
also
after
get
that reveal,
Shuya,
we
who's
get
the former
his
partner.
we get his old person that's on the same level as him, so to speak, because he was his partner. So we get the foil to Kunikita, even, where it's just like, how he works so well with Dazai and Kunikita work so well. I'm sure that there is a time where those
That's
things
crazy.
were happening with this guy, with Chuya.
That's crazy to think about. Yeah, I didn't even really like think about it, where now we see Dazai and Kunikita working so well together, and I was like, last episode I was like, oh my god, I love this, they're great together. But imagine Dazai and Chuya doing that sort of stuff together, and I don't even think we really know Chuya's powers, really. We don't see a whole lot of Chuya, but now I'm thinking about it. Now I'm like, how did they work together? What did they do? What kind of adventures did they have?
That's why it is, for me, an interesting addition for the back half of the season, knowing that it's going to go on to have more, because now that's a thread that's kind of been open and closed in a way of like, oh, Dazai used to be a part of the Port Mafia. Like, who did he used to know? Oh, these are some people he used to know. That's closed. But now we have another question leading into like, what happened between these people? What actually, what goes on? And if I'm being honest, in this set of episodes, I did fall asleep at one point because I got home late from work yesterday while I was watching them.
Oh no!
And I woke up in like the middle of season 2, and I was like, wait, I thought I hadn't fallen asleep because I was that tired, and I'm trying to like understand what's going on, and I'm like, I don't think I'm in the, and I think I was in the middle of a huge flashback sequence or something. That, because I was like, are we?
You spoiled yourself.
I spoiled myself pretty big, if that's what was actually going on. But I quickly jumped back and I was like, okay, we're fine. We're just finished this 4th episode.
That's funny. Leoli says, I find it kind of weird that Dazai is Akutagawa's mentor, because Dazai is only like 2 years older than Akutagawa. Hope this doesn't count as spoilers. No, I mean, we're done with the anime. So any information that y'all have is great, because we're not going to talk about Bungo Stray Dogs anymore. Rampo does not want to go help, but the president will give Rampo praise to help out in some way. And yes, he points out directly where they're at. They're shipping Atsushi overseas. They have the agency has a boat, the president's own boat there. That
Take my speedboat in port. Tosses keys.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we get into episode 10, Rashomon and the Tiger. What happens in episode 10?
Dazai remains cool under duress, revealing that he is holding more cards than he seems, leaving his old partner steeped in frustration. Akutagawa confronts Atsushi after recovering and attempts to convince Kyoka to remain a tool for destruction, and she refuses and detonates explosives on the ship, giving Atsushi an opportunity to get away with Kunikita on the rescue vessel. He refuses to leave Kyoka behind and goes back to fight Akutagawa, who crashes out over Dazai's remarks. Akutagawa is defeated by Atsushi before collapsing, with Kyoka carrying him and herself to the safety of the escape vessel. The leader of the guild being revealed to be a contender on the board.
Ooh, buddy. Leoli says, oh, so you watch all the episodes? So the way that the show works is we watch about 12 episodes of an anime and we give it a taste and then we rank it. So we watched the entire first season of Bungo Stray Dogs, and we have a ton of anime that we've watched, about 12 episodes the first season, and we all watch it together and we come back and give our thoughts. So Kunikita goes alone. Dazai and Chuya do a little bit of a fight there. Dazai wanted to know, of course, who put the price on Atsushi's head. we get some more information about Dazai, that he was the youngest executive in mafia history. So is this all because of his power? I mean, he does have a really strong power to take away powers.
Seems like it's not only his like strong power, which is as like a negator, but he just seems to just think 5 moves ahead, and I think that's what makes him where he's at. What
But I
makes him.
can't, yeah, but I can't imagine him evil. Like, it's hard for me when I'm thinking about, well, I guess the Port Mafia isn't that bad, I guess, compared to other stuff. But like, how did this come together? Like, was the agency a thing and then Dazai joined the agency because he didn't feel like Port Mafia was doing it for him anymore? Or like, it's just so odd because we don't have a whole lot other than Dazai wants to die, but like that doesn't point to anything. That doesn't point to his past, his thoughts, really. Yeah, we do know he's very crafty and very like you said, thinking ahead, but like I need more. I need more for Dazai, for the character. If I want to get on his side and figure it out, like them giving us these little things, that's great in the grand scheme of things when I know there's like 5 seasons of it. But if you're in season 1, when I'm thinking about if I want to go on anymore, I don't know if it's enough. I didn't like these 4 episodes as much as I liked the last 4 episodes for a couple of different reasons. Dazai does have this. He goes on about triggering a meeting between the High Council because he sends a message saying, should Dazai fall, all secrets will be revealed about the Port Mafia. Akutagawa grabs Kuya, and there is this battle. Kyuka sets explosives in the armory. Atsushi goes back to save Kyuka, and Akutagawa versus Atsushi. How did you like this battle between them? Just them two? Nothing going on. He's got some wear legs or wear arms. I think
arms, wear legs.
Yeah.
I liked the fight. I thought it was entertaining, and visually it was really cool just to see Akutagawa pull out all of he had all of his like named special attacks, but we just get to see that Atsushi's like Wolverine healing. Basically, he's just able to just soak up so much damage, and it's satisfying to see Atsushi finally deliver the haymaker to him.
Bro, this shot was wild.
And I just like the whole idea that like he found Akutagawa's limit, like and that's Akutagawa made this front and this whole facade that like he was invincible and that nothing could get through his power. But when they literally go for the for the stress test, it's like, oh, we found your max. We found your max, bro. And I really hope that it leads into like Akutagawa having some sort of like character growth through that and being more reliant on his on his allies, on the people around him, and not so self-reliant, because then he'll actually be more of a threat. Because right now, honestly, every time he comes into the picture, he's supposed to be this threatening figure, but I've only seen him actually hurt like unnamed characters.
He's taken L after L. Like it's so weird because I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about the Port Mafia, because one, they set it up in the beginning of the show where it's like, okay, cool, we have this counter to the agency, the Port Mafia. And I thought in my head, boom, easy, 2 guilds fighting, sort of. One gets the upper hand here, one gets away, and or whatever. Classic like Batman Joker sort of thing. But then in like one of the first episodes, they just hand Port Mafia L's as soon as they like try and storm the agency. And it's like, oh, like how am I? And then now we know that Ukutagawa is like the strongest one probably. But like I'm with you where like I don't know how to feel about Akutagawa and the Port Mafia, because they keep losing, or
Mhm.
they don't seem so much as a threat. And now we have the guild here,
Yeah.
and it's like, who fucks with the Port Mafia then? Like, fuck those
Yeah.
guys. Like, it's
But
whatever.
it's like I do, even though that's how I feel about Akutagawa, I at least have like, you know, this like a sliver of dignity for the fact that, you know, they made it clear with the earlier interaction with Dazai and his old partner that Akutagawa is like not a top rung. He's not an executive. He's just kind of like a really, you know, again, it
And
just makes him seem like, you know, the Kylo Ren-esque figure where it's like
sure.
you are in the chain of command, but you just kind of like have tantrum after tantrum and don't know what to do with all of this untapped power that you have because you can't remain emotionally stable. And
I
so
like
that's
that.
why I hope that like he experiences character growth through this loss and realizes that like just power alone is not enough to come out the victor, because
Because
he's objectively stronger than Atsushi for sure, but he didn't know his own limits and understand like, you know, how to win that fight.
And I like that Dazai Dazai probably knew that he was going to get under his skin by saying that to him. Dazai told Akutagawa that his new apprentice is way more powerful and way better than him, and he probably knew that would set him off, and it really did, because he was just trying to brute force the wrong key in the hole, man, and you just can't do it. Leoli says, I love Kyuka. My profile pic is art that I made of Kyuka. Oh, that's really cool. I just really like when Kyuka blew up the ship. It felt so badass. It was pretty cool. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, Atsushi and Kyoka gets blown off into Kunikida's boat. Dazai finds out who puts the price on Atsushi's head, and in comes the guild. The Fitzgerald, I think they said his name was.
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Is that his name?
Yeah, because like the whole thing is they're all poets and authors. They're all named
Oh,
after
that's
poets. So now
true.
the guild is the North American group. So it's going to be a bunch of North American
They
authors and poets now.
They did call him Francis Fitzgerald in episode 12. So, yeah, I suppose
It's
so.
literally Scott
Dang.
Fitzgerald, and he says old sport.
Yeah, I forgot that was the
We
whole
got the
thing.
Gatsby.
Who's that? Episode 11. First, an unsuitable profession for her. Second, an ecstatic detective agency. What happens in episode 11?
Kyoko requests asylum with the president of the agency, and he accepts. We turn and look into Higuchi's point of view at the fallout of Akutagawa's defeat, leaving him susceptible to retaliation from his enemies. The Port Mafia is not interested in expending resources to keep him safe, and Higuchi is left no options when he turns up missing and commits a solo raid on an enemy hideout, the Black Lizard Special Operations Group showing up just in time to save their superior, Akutagawa apologizing to Higuchi seemingly for the first time. Atsushi pairs up with Kenji to do an investigation in the city, and Atsushi is left dumbfounded by Kenji's relaxed manner in even tense situations. Kunikida is left worried, as Atsushi is likely to take Kenji seriously when showcasing a lack of self-preservation, but when cornered, Kenji is able to single-handedly dispose of the offending group of the problem that was at hand.
So we'll start with the first half. The second half is very different than the first half. But it turns out the agency likes Kyuka. So Ronpo likes Kyuka the most.
This person is a threat to national security. They've murdered 25 people, and they are going to become a national fugitive on the wanted list. Let's take him in.
Yeah, let's be friends. We
Let's
love
be
her.
friends.
She's cute. They dressed her up. Rampo loves her. The president was the one that asked Kyoko to come. He agrees to take her in, and apparently Akutagawa is in some sort of coma or some distress there as we see him. And we take the point of view of Higuchi. We have seen Higuchi before, right?
Correct.
She was the girl.
She was there. She was the one that went in to like talk about, oh, there's people in the alley behind my business.
Yeah.
And then,
that's the same one.
Brought out the dual Uzis that did nothing.
So crazy. One thing that was cool, that I noticed. They had a bathroom scene between Higuchi and some of the black lizards, is that what they're called?
Mhm.
Um, and listening to it in English, I don't know if the Japanese voice actors did it, but it was like really cool and really odd. It just stood out to me. There was like an echo when they were in the bathroom talking. Like there was bigger echoes on some voices because of where they were, and I was like, this is really cool. I was like, what the hell? Because they're in like the bathroom there, and usually bathrooms have an echo if you're talking, having conversations.
If that
But
was in the sub, I totally missed it.
yeah, it was in the English because I was like, what the hell? This is really cool. They were just like, it sounded like a bathroom. I'm like, I'm immersed. I'm immersed as fuck right now. We get a scene of Higuchi trying to stop Akutagawa. Um, Mercenaries were hired by the Karma Transit, and Higuchi tries to go and save him. The other Port Mafia Black Lizards end up saving her, and he wakes up. The police end up coming to the agency, and this is kind of like a going into the second half. Kenji, we get like an info dump about Kenji, this lad. He's just a nice little guy that came from nothing. He doesn't understand money. His what did he say? His town just got electricity a couple days ago or something.
Something like that.
This boy don't know nothing about
Like, I don't even know
nobody.
about money. What do? We
Yeah.
barter. We just
What
trade things for things.
we've seen this boy with his little straw hat, Luffy ass, just in the background. Um, is this the right time to bring him in the penultimate episode to give us like a little one-off story? Like, it's just weird because like I'm enjoying it, but like in my head, I'm like, we're coming to the end. What are we? Where are we going?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, just kind of odd. I don't know. How do you feel about still them doing like I said before in the past? I love them. Just keep doing little detective stories if you want. That's fine.
I definitely think we needed the whole Higuchi little thing going
That's
on
fine.
there. I think
Yes.
that needed to happen, and it was good timing for that. And I like, I don't know. I think they should have really gone full send and like maybe off the back of it, then given us some sort of deeper look into something that the guild has done in in association with the Port Mafia as well. That way, it just kind of like it helps ramp up the tension between the eventual like three-way war that essentially gets
Implied by the
implied,
end.
yeah, by the end, exactly.
Mhm.
So I definitely think the first half was the right time, but this second half, it felt like they were kind of like, we only got half of a Port Mafia episode. Let's just shove in Kenji. Let's get Kenji in there. So that's how it felt for sure. I was kind of
That
caught off guard. I was just kind of like, oh, this is what we're doing? Like,
yeah.
I was really invested in Higuchi's whole like, I'm not a top rung, and I don't really have the respect of my associates, but then turns into this whole you know uh,
The way she
honestly,
ended it too, like she was like, I got to do it cuz it's my job, and like these people are like, you're our higher up. We're definitely going to help you and make sure you're good. Like, that's great. Like, cool, whatever. And then it's like, boop, here we go. Atsushi and Kenji on the case for something. I'm like,
and
you're
it's
doing so
not that
well.
it's not that it wasn't funny. It's not that he wasn't handled well. I like Kenji, and I like the fact that like he just is so nonsensical in those situations, oblivious, so to speak. Very very himbo vibes in a just a little tiny
Sure.
guy, but it's yeah, it felt a little bit cognitively dissonant to have the two stories run back to
In
back
the
in
same
the same
episode.
episode.
Yeah. So Atsushi and Kenji are on another case. Kenji it's shown a lot in a very short amount of time about how much he helps people, about how he's like talking to everybody in the town, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll do this for you, oh I'll check that, whatever. Hello, feet fungus. How's it going? Love your name. It's great. Appreciate you being here. They what did you think about this whole Kenji walking into the he
This
has
one,
a
you like,
lead.
I'm laughing.
Yeah,
I am
it's funny.
laughing. I think it's
Yeah.
funny. It's a good bit. Like, it's a good bit for the character to have that he's just like so oblivious that he's being kind and, like, just trying to ask criminals to tell the truth. Like, that's what he's doing. He's just walking
Honesty.
in there. Yeah. And it just, the whole situation makes it turn into this whole, oh, look at that. They just confessed because they thought, you were so nonchalant that you found something conclusive, huh? Now we gotta take care of you. And they're just like, oh, that's the admission of guilt right there. There you go.
Thanks.
And
This
then they're
always
just like,
happens to me.
uh
Yeah, every single time. This
so I
always
like the bit.
happens.
It's not that I don't like the bit.
No.
I just think that the humor, like off the back of the emotional development of Higuchi and Akutagawa's power vacuum that formed, is just a bit big. Like, we got a lot of kidnapping going on in this show. We got a lot
Yeah.
of, I took this person from you. We took that person from them, and these people took that guy from you. It's a lot of
Bro, the streets are
kidnapping, and
not
people just
safe.
don't die.
Yeah, the guns
So,
don't matter, but people just it's not fun out there. You can get
like
shot a million times.
Akutagawa's enemies abducted him, and they just kept him hooked up. Like, I thought they were pulling the plug on him to kill him,
I
not
thought
move
so
him
too.
into another.
They pulled the
not
plug,
move
and
him
I was
into
like,
a warehouse just to plug him back in. Oh, we can surely harbor him and make his power turn to our side. Like, no, bro, what are you doing? What are you
you're
doing?
right. I thought he was gonna die, and I was like, oh shit. Okay. I thought that would have been crazy though if he did just die off
Yeah,
screen or
not saying
whatever.
he should have died, but I
No.
thought that's what was going
Yeah.
on.
Leoli says he's also oblivious in a way that he's technically not old enough to have an actual job. And same with Kyoka. I don't know about the laws of Japan very well, but technically it's child labor. True. How old is Rampo? Because I thought Rampo was supposed to be young too. Is the agency just child labor? We gotta figure it out. It's
Me
the
waiting to get a
mafia.
letter from the agency in the mail when I was in the special and gifted club.
It's the mafia. Yeah, I know. Why is everybody getting kidnapped? Oh my god. Oh no, I'm talking about the agency. Yeah. That's what I mean. But I think Feet Fungus was talking about why is everybody getting kidnapped? Oh, it's the mafia, duh. Rompo's 26. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so not that young. Hello, Morel. How do y'all know that their ages? Just right off the bat. Appreciate it. Kenji gets bonked.
Okay.
Do you have that picture? Of him
Kenji
just
getting bonked? No.
That was so crazy. He just like boom, just a bat to Kenji's face. I'm like, oh, that boy dead. He's gone. It was so good. I love that.
I know something's not gonna, I know he's not gonna die, but it's the blow is delivered so convincingly that I'm just like, oh. They just go for it.
Yeah, and they do it all so quickly. I don't know if you paid attention to the music now again. Maybe not.
I was trying to a little bit more.
Yeah, there's like some during those moments, some like jazz, like open jazz is really fun. It just like opens up and stuff. No Fukuzawa adopting stealing kids. Stealing kids to help out his agency. Hell yeah. It was a good friend. Just saying. Awesome. Thank you so much for Googling it. Kenji has superhuman strength when he's hungry, but when he's full, he sleeps. That's a cool power.
Relatable.
I don't think
bro get hangy.
So I think we got like
hunger strength.
I think we got like every main character in the agency's power. Which one are you about? Like which one, like they're like any of these people?
I think Kunikita is still my favorite.
Kunikita is pretty cool. Kunikita's power, bro. His English voice actor does not match the character. Is like super low like that. I'm like, whoa, that's not him. What the hell?
No.
You wouldn't want tiger arms? or tiger legs. I brought that up because I was like, when you're hungry, just having having super strength isn't bad. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Super strength is a solid one. Isn't that also child starvation? Stop it. Stop making sense.
It's just that dopo puppet, that being able to pull anything out of your notebook.
That's this small.
Yeah. I mean, that's
What would you
there's
pull?
a lot of things. There's a lot of things.
Can he pull organic matter?
Like a rope gun, or what was the thing?
Thought.
Organic matter? Like, can you pull a hamster out of it?
What? Meaning, like, he solve world hunger is what I'm asking. Like, could he just pull out a bunch of cheeseburgers because he knows the function and form?
Form and function of cheeseburger.
To eat, to taste good, to be savored. Can he just do infinite cheeseburgers? Fuck, I don't know. Episode 12, the final episode of season 1, Born Back Ceaselessly into the Past. How does Bungo Stray Dogs end with episode 12?
Dazai reveals that the one who put the bounty on the were-tiger is the leader of the Guild, a American-based group that uses their power, wealth, and connections to plot schemes of their own self-interest. The leader, Francis Scott Fitzgerald, approaches the president of the agency with a buyout offer for their special operations license. The president refusing, Francis making an open-faced threat after, and broadcasting on the news showcasing a port mafia hideout vanishing overnight the next morning. Guild apprentice Lucy Montgomery traps a few members of the agency, and they have to work together to trick her into releasing her own technique. It being revealed that one of the people stuck in there was the leader of the port mafia, acknowledging that the Guild is now a piece on the board in their fight against the agency.
Oh my god. It's that man.
Average American.
Just average American things. Stinky American. Leoli says, Dazai did say abilities cause people a lot of pain. Like, for example, Atsushi's ability caused all the orphanages, crops, and chicken coops to get destroyed, which is also why he was abused. That is true. And we get some more abilities in this one. But we gotta talk about the introduction of the Guild. They're American. These guys,
eagle screech sound.
Yeah, just eagles. They hold key roles in higher up positions. So this sounds like a huge organization, not like something small like the agency. We still don't really know how big the Port Mafia is, but the Guild seems to be a lot bigger. They park their helicopter in the highway. I hope that's okay. But
I hope that. Did they take their helicopter from America to Japan? They flew that shit over the Pacific?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Can you fly a helicopter over the Pacific Ocean?
I don't know, man. How many gallons of gas do you need? I mean, maybe they switched off helicopters at some point. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I assume the way they played it out that they
should have just landed a jet on the highway, man.
That would have been bad. That would have been crazier and that would have been cooler. Yeah. Just landing there. Insane. He wants to buy the agency. He doesn't want it for really anything other than the gifted business permit, which is the first time that we're hearing this, I think. The gifted business permit.
I haven't heard about no permits before this.
I didn't have to sign any papers to watch this anime. This is crazy. The Guild took away Kenji, and also a 7-story building just vanished. Naomi vanishes. People are vanishing. This man is looking for this girl named Elise. It's setting it up. There was no. This is the final episode, season 1, right?
Correct.
There was nothing really to build. I mean, we're casually building. Like, the story gets more interesting. There's some more stuff put on the table, more chess pieces being moved around. But there wasn't really all right, we're gonna fight now. Finally, here's the battle at the end. And it's like, yeah, let's get to the last episode. This was kind of like, here's a new thing, and we're gonna deal with it. And it's weird because, like, yeah, this whole scene, like the whole idea of Lucy creating this world. Where is it? Why is it not popping up? What happened? Why is everything just not working here? Hold on. There it is. Lucy creating this entire world. The big puppet. Everybody's coming to this world here. Time stopped. That's cool. That's a cool concept. As a final episode, how do you feel with no sort of build up? Even though this does show how powerful the guild is, who I'm sure we're going to fight in season 2.
That's for me where I think it comes into play, is where this episode kind of does a few things, and it operates as a vessel to kind of showcase the guild has, strength, and it has the capabilities to, like the guy said, your agency won't be worth anything if all of a sudden all of its employees turn up missing. So it kind of sets a stake that if this problem isn't solved, like, the agency is just going to cease to exist. She wins here, they're done. Like, there's nothing else. So, like, that's kind of like one of the stakes for me that it at least set up. And it also has it serves as a stepping stone for Atsushi, where he is now gone from somebody that the agency is protecting to somebody that is protecting the agency, where
and that's a very
he
cool
wanted
change.
to run. He wanted to run, and it wasn't until, for some reason, the leader of again, and that's like, it sets up these intrigue plots where the guy that was helping them is the leader of the Port Mafia, and if it wasn't for him convincing Atsushi not to run away, the agency, gets defeated and they're dissolved. So I don't know if it was because he was able to acknowledge that he wasn't going to be able to defeat her and, take the W in that situation, and he needed to rely on Atsushi in that moment, or if there's some ulterior motive to why he would do that. But for me, that's the two things that it did. It kind of like it set up the guild as a competent adversary compared to
way more than Port Mafia.
Compared to the Port Mafia and the agency, because it steals the agency's employees and it steals a hideout from the Port Mafia. So it builds them up as a threat. And then, it gives our main character, who, again, at the start of the season was somebody that was just wanting to run from everything, to, again, somebody that is now able to defend the people that once defended him.
And that's a cool change. I mean, for that to happen, because like you were saying, in the beginning, he's like, I don't want to do this, man. This sucks. I'm the same boy that was abused and nobody liked me and all this stuff. But then it's like, no, you're not. You've done all this other stuff. You have this team behind you. These people believe in you. And now, like you said in the past with Kyoka, you have to fight for something and fight for some people. For them to live and for your friends to stay. And we get this domain expansion, as you put it. I was like, dang, they're doing stands. They got domain expansions to play a game of tag. We don't got to go through all this, but it was very beautiful. The character Lucy, the animation looked really good on her face.
Most vibrant episode visually, for sure.
Super vibrant. We have this other doctor guy that we find out later is part of the Port Mafia, but he's there and he's like giving advice to him, like, what the fuck? What is this guy doing? Lucy takes down her ability at the end because they outsmart her, and he was talking about how the doctor at the end, the doctor was saying, I'm in charge of a small group now. I don't know. It's gonna be vibing or whatever. I'm like, who is this small group? And they kind of just show a guild member dead laying there with a bunch of Port Mafia, and they all bow to this person. And we find out that he is this guy. Where was it? Mori Ogai, which is kind of crazy. So, like, this episode was cool. Like all the stuff that you were saying before, it sets up the guild. We have them sort of, I really want them to work together. I'm pretty sure that's where it's going. Port Mafia and the agency, Akutagawa.
We might have an enemy of my enemy is my
Yeah,
friend situation for a little bit. It might
I
be
think that's
leading
what
up
it
to
is.
that. But I don't know, man. Port Mafia.
No.
The
Port Mafia X
agency was
agency.
literally throwing the black lizards out of their window after an attempted hit on
It's
their agency.
fine. It's fine. They'll be friends. I just want them to be friends. I want them to kiss. Leoli says, I feel like Atsushi at the beginning was only running away because he thought he couldn't help and was worthless. Now Atsushi fights because he believes if you can't save people, you are worthless. A very cool mindset shift, yes. And it's believable. I like that it is believable with all the stuff that he's been through. And it's like, oh, yes, here's that character development, which is really cool. I wish there was character development on his like abilities. I want him to be able to like
But
change.
yeah. But like we talked about it a little bit before. Where at the core, the show I feel like isn't really about isn't about superpowered people. It's really just about it's about the connections and finding value through community and and friends and common goals. Honestly,
So let's
about
get
finding your place in the world.
Yeah, so that's how season 1 ends. Pretty compelling. I don't know. A compelling you to watch season 2. Did this do it for you to continue? For me, I don't know. I don't think it was enough. I think I'm okay with not watching it. I could go either way. I'm on the fence. I'm not completely sold as like other anime that we watch like this is it. Like I want to keep watching. This is like if I don't ever watch another episode, I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, it like I enjoyed the ride up to this point, and my I'll definitely talk about it in my ratings. Why this is not something that
Sure.
this is something that like I enjoyed, but whether or not it's something that I'd watch in longevity, we'll talk about it.
So let's get into it. We rank animes that we watch on the show with 3 categories: animation, storytelling, and vibes. And we rank that as well as you. You had the chance to go ahead and vote for Bungo Stray Dogs to see if you wanted to get it to a higher ranking. But Matt, let's get started. Where would you rank Bungo Stray Dogs for animation?
For animation, I'm giving it. Oh, excuse me. I'm giving it a C. It the colors are really nice, the character designs are great, but it's one of those shows that feels more static than it feels dynamic for me. A lot of the
Sure.
shots are a full face shot of one person, very detailed, or a shot of the environment, and absolutely nobody has detail on them. It recycles certain settings and locations, and it's not that it gets tired, and it's not that it's bad, but it is noticeable if I'm going to be taking it into an animation rating, where it feels as though the budget was more in certain moments rather than being stretched out to make the entire runtime feel consistent. And
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing with the animation for me would be it feels inconsistent. It feels really good sometimes, and then sometimes it feels like I'm just watching PNGs move on a background.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
that's it's just the reality of it. So if you're somebody that's I want to watch a really good show that has really
Looks
great
amazing.
visuals, really crazy fights and stuff, this is not the show I'm recommending them. But I also don't think if somebody is looking for something that this show caters to, that the animation would be enough to make me not recommend it to somebody up that alley. So that's
Sure.
why I give it a C. Just middle of the road. It's kind of just getting itself there, point A to point B.
Leoli says, I want to say so much more, but you guys haven't watched the rest of the series, and I don't want to give spoilers. Thank you. I appreciate it. Funka says, can you do Madoka Magica? Yes, we have a ton of episodes out. We've done Madoka Magica. If you look up the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour, Madoka Magica, it should pop up on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Yeah, we did 3 episodes on that on the first season. Loved it. Big fan of that one.
Big fan.
Jenna says start of season 2 is the main hook as they have a tonal shift. Season 1 is good, but a lot of people love start of season 2. Maybe I would too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe I would too.
That's interesting. That is interesting to
Yeah,
know.
Emerald also said season 2 really kicks up the story arc that is the cliffhanger of introducing the guild as the new antagonists. Yeah, I mean, but like if I didn't know that and I was just somebody watching,
Exactly.
I don't know if this last episode gave me enough to want to continue. Knowing that now, then I'm like, okay, maybe. But like as somebody that's just watching continuously,
You can't expect the casual viewer to have the expertise of the entire fandom at the doorstep.
so animation for this anime, I would give it a B, a little bit higher, but still not spectacular. I think the thing that you touched on for sure is my biggest gripe about it. It was just so inconsistent. There was some beautiful stuff, some really crazy scenes. Some we talked about in the last episode, we talked about Kyuka just being drawn amazing and looking beautiful in one scene. But then we get these like silly faces, which are anime tropes for sure, but still there are some points like you're saying, it just feels like PNGs on a screen that get moved by. So it wasn't super spectacular, and I think the inconsistency didn't help. I would have taken less quality because like some screenshots look beautiful. I would have taken less quality overall if it meant just bringing up everything to one thing.
Standard.
Like even if you look at like old anime, doesn't look great, but they're all the same. Like it's the same throughout the entire episode. Every episode looks the same, and I'm like, that's good. They went with the style. Maybe that's all that was in their budget for. That's cool. But the inconsistency really threw me off there. Storytelling, what would you give storytelling for this anime?
Storytelling, I rocked back and forth with this one a lot, but I think I'm settling on an A for storytelling. From point A to point B, start to finish, I was I was engaged with Atsushi's story. I enjoyed seeing his growth, his development, him go from somebody who seemed, trauma stricken to somebody who was able to, recapture his self-worth and overcome those internal obstacles. I like the idea and the concept of the story itself, where it felt like at first we were getting these self-contained vignette, like self-contained episodes that were kind of like open close at the end, but then as we went forward, like we started to get some arcs, and we started to get a few episode arcs here and there that were really interesting and really compelling along the way. Again, what it probably keeps it from hitting S tier for me would be the lack of a really compelling conclusion to the first season, and a bit of the few like just tonal shifts. But I really enjoyed, what I surprisingly enjoyed a lot of was when we stepped away from Atsushi as well and took a look at the side characters, like the little Kunikita arc and the Higuchi half episode. Those were really good. So it's got it's, in my opinion, the story structure has really good bones. It just didn't like make a really like the most compelling find when you put the fossil together completely.
Sure.
Just like, oh, it's a complete thing, but I have seen it before, so that's where I'm kind of left. I have seen things that this show does before. It does them, and it does them well, and I enjoyed it start to finish. But none of these characters were like, oh my god, I've never seen a snarky partner character that doesn't get along with his detective buddy before. Oh my god, I've never seen a fish out of water that gets introduced to a new universe and world that he doesn't know about, who also happens to have some sort of demonic curse held up inside of him, etc. So
We
it's
still
just
don't
like,
really know, Kutagawa
so
stuff.
yeah, exactly. So like it does all the things, and it does it well in the story, in my opinion. It's just not doing a lot new, and it's not getting into new territory. There's a few twists here and there that did get me initially, like the whole setup of, oh my god, there's a bomb and you are here and so disarm it. Oh, just kidding. This is your introduction or your
Or when they, the biggest twist in the beginning for me was when the Port Mafia tried to attack the agency and they just got owned, and I was like, oh, what? That's
exactly.
crazy.
So definitely moments there of surprise for me. Where do you get left on storytelling, Jules?
First, thank you, Kaylin, for 10 months of being a member. Appreciate it there on YouTube. Leoli says, I was mostly so engrossed in this anime because of the story, and if you really read between the lines, it can get pretty complex. And Jenna has something close to that as well. Jenna says, yeah, this is one of those shows where it's hard to judge because they try to fit a seinen in a more shonen tone. Story is really intricate and complex, but the bit of shonen tone takes it away.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's why I gave the storytelling a B, is because I would have maybe liked it more if it was just talky doing something, not try so epic fights and stuff. Even though they did look great, they look good, great, whatever. I would like to know more about the characters. I want to see them do their own little silly stuff, even though I don't know if I was a fan of well, yeah, I was a fan of Chuya. This stuff, I do think that the action may have taken away from like what the story they could have told, a little more complete story. In season 1, I get they're not going to show all their hands or all their cards in their hand on season 1 if they do plan on, I think this show has like 5 seasons or something. So if they had a long-term plan to like flesh it out that way, then that's cool. But as someone that's going to watch season 1 and then just figure out if I'm going to see season 2 at all, I don't know. I don't know if I was attached to Atsushi as much as I wanted to be. One, because I felt like he was, so many other characters are more interesting, and I know the one through line has to be Atsushi, but I liked a lot of the other characters way more than that. I just like the time. We got to get going. Storytelling, I give it a B. So I don't know if I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm going to continue. Now that y'all tell me that season 2 kicks off in a very different way, maybe. But me just watching the first season and deciding, hey, do I want to watch it or no? I don't know if I would. Vibes, what'd you give it on Vibes?
Vibes, I'm giving it an S because the vibes were great in my opinion. I mean, even if it didn't make all the decisions that I thought were right all the time, the characters are really cool. The music was really good. Like you said last time, you pointed out the music, and I was listening to it a bit more this time. The music's really good. When it does have moments that hit, they do hit. It's got some emotional kick in there, and I could see it leading on to something that's bigger and better. And like, if somebody's just looking for a show that they just want to really watch something where it's just fun, lighthearted, but still has some sort of a overarching thread, even though there are like, heavy themes, I do think the tone of the show is pretty light in this first season. That people are saying there's tonal shift into season 2, so I don't know anything about that, but pretty tonally light in the first season, even though the themes are heavy, but still really good on the watch. Kept me interested, kept me engaged, giving it an S on Vibes. Jules, where are you rating it on Vibes?
I'm giving it a B as well. It was good. I liked the vibes of some of the characters, didn't like some vibes for the other ones. I really think in the last 4 episodes it kind of lost me. I really like those middle 4. Those middle 4 were good, but the beginning and then towards the end, I was like, okay, I can give or take. I'm not super intrigued by a lot of stuff, like you said in the past. It isn't new. I don't know. I just wasn't overjoyed by the anime. It was good, like I can say. And how would you recommend this anime? Like if someone's like, "Hey, I'm looking for a blank, blank, blank."
It's like
Oh,
this,
Bungo Stray Dogs.
like somebody said earlier, it's like a seinen meets shonen, but leans more into its seinen elements than the shonen. And so I would recommend it to somebody that like wants to get into stuff that is more dialogue heavy, but still can't help but need like power systems in their show. So it's like
Yeah.
if you're somebody that only watches shonen and you're really into that, but you want something that branches out, I think that this would be a good branch because it's got all of the appeal of something that's more dialogue heavy with the the costume of a shonen character. It's wearing a Goku costume, but it's really just a bunch of dialogue, like, honestly.
Yeah. Leoli says, especially at the start of the seasons, it kind of goes into the past for a certain character that's important to the story forward and answers some questions from the previous seasons. So that's good to hear. But we got to rank this anime. We have all our total rankings, and this anime. Let's hope my things are working. This anime, Bungo Stray Dogs, is. Why are they not coming up? I have them all programmed here. Wait for it.
Left.
It's a B. Bungo Stray Dogs is sort of the anime for the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour. It goes up against all of these other anime. Oh my god, really? All of them? Are they not gonna? Yeah, let's do this.
In the void.
We have a ton of anime that we've seen already this season. So Bungo Stray Dogs hits the B tier list. We have a ton of anime. And we have one more to pick. We have one more anime to go for season 2. And then we're going to start fresh, wipe the slate clean, and then start all over. So these anime are the ones that you see here. Hopefully that shows up. There it is. All these anime have been submitted by you or by me and Matt. And most of these are from you, the community. So thank you so much. The way you can submit an anime to be in the chest is a $5 super chat on YouTube. So if you submit a $5 super chat, you could just be like, watch this next. And we'll be like, okay. Matt pulls it out of the chest at random. And then we watch the first season of it, or the first 12 episodes of it, and give our thoughts about it. So the next anime we're going to watch for the last one of season 2.
Shangri-La Frontiers.
Shangri-La Frontier. Who is that?
This is Victor or Alex Wick.
Oh, Wick. Yes. Thank you so much.
Wick on
so
sticks.
Shangri-La Frontier, the final final show that we're going to be watching for season 2 of the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour. Watch episode 1 through 4 before next week. Is it Christmas already? No, it's not, right? Next Thursday, watch episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Shangri-La Frontier. Come back here. Be prepared to talk about it. We'll give you our thoughts about it. I've never seen it. Have you seen it?
I've never seen it.
So this is a cool way to discover a new anime you may like. Maybe your next favorite anime, or you discover something you don't like. I don't know. Who knows? Matt, when you're not bungoing those stray dogs, where can they find you?
You can find me, follow me on my YouTube at Matt_Galley, or on my socials. Follow me on Instagram threads at ITS Matt_Galley. Just add an ITS at the front. Jules, when the bungos are stray dogging, where can the people find you?
At JulesTheHuman, at JulesTheHuman on all social media. I've been posting a lot on threads, on my Instagram stories. I've been reading a lot of comics. Just got into comic books, and that Absolute Batman is thick AF. But I've been posting a lot on threads, so go follow me on threads at JulesTheHuman. Same there. You can watch this podcast on YouTube or on Spotify. We are on Spotify, YouTube Music, all that stuff. In case you want to listen to us or watch a past episode while you're at the gym, on the way to work, or something like that. We have a ton of anime we've already done and reviewed. Go back in our catalog and see if we've reviewed one of your favorites.
Like Madoka Magica.
Madoka Magica is one. Got to scroll back
pretty far.
Pretty far to get to Madoka Magica. We did it fairly back in season 1, I think. But yeah, that's the end. Watch Shangri-La Frontiers, the NES Frontiers. Watch Shangri-La episode 1 through 4 by next Thursday, and we'll come back and talk to you about it. Hold on, I want to make sure this works first. No, it doesn't.
Wow.
What's happening? We're all broken down. But yeah, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.